Well, that's coming next week, but I'll give you a heads up. A lot of times, we can ask God, and there's a verse, I'll use it next week, it's called, it's in Proverbs 16. And it tells us, commit your plans unto God, and He will direct your paths. So, let's say that I've got an idea, and it's really strong, and I think it's what I should do. Then I'll say, Lord, I'm thinking about this stuff, and this is in my head, these I really don't want to make a mistake. I need a clear answer from you. You told us to seek you. You told us to want your will. And so you also said to ask. Ask and receive. You don't have to, you don't ask. So I'm committing to you this situation. I'm committing to you this opportunity. And I really want to know which one. This is what I should be doing. I don't see anything else. So I'm going to start walking this way. But with the understanding, if you call me out of this or show me, then I'm done. I'm completely done. And I'll talk to him that way. But there are times, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, there were things I wanted to do. And there was this absolute block in me. It's like God saying, don't do it. You will ruin everything. Don't do that. It wasn't a bad thing to do. It was like, I know inside God's putting this huge pressure on you. Don't do that. When you have that, stop. Don't. If you have a serious and strong impression you're not supposed to do something, don't. At all. But if you don't have that impression, Proverbs tells us, commit your plans unto God your way, and He will direct your paths. So I'll say, look, I want to try that right there. I think that's where it should go. A good example was this kid that was with us this morning. This family was with us for a long time before. They're in the church, so every once in a while pop in, and I mentored him for a while. So he comes in and he's a cadet at Metro. He's from the top years ago. He's like, hey, I want to talk to your son. I want to do this. He said, I want to be a pilot with Metro and a helicopter. He had all these plans. I said, well, what are you doing? Studying? Are you preparing? Just ask God to lead you. So so far he's good. He's actually got his license. He's actually flying airplanes now, and he's a cadet with Metro. But he asked me a few weeks back, he said, pray for me, and can I use you as a reference because I want to join the Army Reserve. I said, yeah, sure. I can run the National Guard Reserve. Yeah. Give my email, reference. So this morning he comes in and says, man, everything stopped. He said, I couldn't make it through maps. Certain things were blocked for me. There was nothing that I did. It was the whole system administratively shut down 2 different times in a row. And he says, if I don't go now, he told me I'm not going to go until November. He says, but you might be able to get on the 12th. So something happened with the membership program. It's the military interest program. That also they said, no, we can't do it. You're not going to be able to do the membership until November. So he told me, I was kind of discouraged, but he says, I know things happen for a reason, and there was nothing I could do was out of my hands. I said, well, then exactly. That was God. Because you might have gotten into the wrong West, you might have gotten the wrong time, maybe that wasn't the way for you, and obviously it's very difficult for a MEPS in a city to stop operations. Very difficult. Because especially right now, they need a lot of stuff to just shut down. So I said, it's God. He said, yeah, I know it's God. I said, it's God. It happened to me. I wanted to be a Marine. When I was a kid, I was going to go to the Marine Corps. I've been wanting to go to the Marine Corps since I was a kid, a teenager. And everything happened, just long story short, to where I got all the way to MEPS in Arizona and was ready to get inducted. And it's like, no, everything just failed. Everything. So they put me back on a plane and sent me back here. Everybody there that was enough was already getting programmed to get in and all stuff. And here I am at the very doorstep. I'm like, nope. But it worked out. Because the Marine Corps is a very, very, very huge and difficult place for a family. And I was already married with her, and I had my first kid, my oldest kid. And so the Marine Corps, a good majority of Marines have divorced. Huge. Because the life is very, put it this way, sometimes they're like a sailor, they'll be on a ship, on sea duty with the Navy, because they are in the Department of Navy. And they'll be on the ship for 6 months at a time, come back and back to fleet again. Then they'll send them over to Marine Guards duty or Marine Embassy duty or something, and always deployed. The ones that are the most deployed of anybody are because they have different theaters and ways they can deploy. And so they came back to me and said, they told me this. They said, look, you gotta get already away. The Army got a hold of you. And the Army's like, yeah, we'll do this, this, and this. Really? Yeah, we'll do this and this and this, and we'll leave it out. Okay, let's go. And so the Army was the door that opened, that got open. But, God shut that door. I was dead set on dead set. And God shut the door. And so then I went to the Army, I can see in my heart, from the time that I joined, that God was leading me through that and through all the experiences. But what happened was God shut the door, just like He did for me. So if God doesn't want you to do something, I push it down, completely shut the door. But ask Him. He says you don't have because you don't ask. And sometimes you ask because you're asking wrong. Okay? So ask Him, sincerely, Lord, this is what I think I should do, this is what I want to do. And I'm bouncing this off because I really want to do the right thing. How can I ask wrong? Well, very simple. You know in your heart you're not supposed to do it. You know it. In your heart, you have this impression, you know it's bad, it's not good. In and of itself, it's not an evil thing, but in the scheme of things, you can see it's going to be a really huge hardship. Worse than it can be. And you perceive with every sign, every impression is like, don't go, but you full speed ahead to go. Then that's when you ask wrong. Oh God, I think I should do this. No, you don't. You know in your heart you should do this. And you have an impression, the doors are closed. So then you're asking wrong. A good example in the Bible was Balaam. Balaam kept asking God, can I curse them? Can I curse the Jews? Because the king of Moab, Barak, was saying, curse these people for me. God's like, no, don't curse them. And one time he's so pitied that he's riding on this donkey, and the donkey sees an angel of God in front of him. And the donkey stops, and he pushes him against this fence and crushes the guy's foot against this fence because he's not moving forward, he's afraid. And so this prophet gets off and starts beating the donkey. And God makes the donkey talk. And the donkey says, why are you beating me? I didn't do anything to you. I've never treated you wrong. I've never disobeyed you. Why are you beating me? This is a donkey talking. And this guy doesn't even realize he's talking to a donkey. He says, because you disobeyed. He doesn't stop. Well, you talk. He doesn't do that. He's like, oh. He doesn't. He's like, Shrek, oh, donkey, you can talk. He's like arguing with this donkey. How stupid can you be if an angel stops the donkey, makes the donkey talk, and you're so blinded about what you want to do, you still want to go forward and you're mad at the donkey instead of saying, oh my God, this donkey is talking, he's telling me not to go forward. And so the angel talks to him. And the angel tells him, look, that donkey saw me. That donkey saved your life. Because if that donkey would have stopped and crushed your gone side to side instead of forward, he says that donkey would have come forward. I would have saved the donkey, but I would have killed you. The angel told him, the donkey would have lived, but I would have killed you. Whoa. You think he learned his lesson? He didn't learn his lesson. That was flat out God telling him every sign you can imagine, clearly. Later on, he tries to go around God's will. It's a long story. He goes around God's will to try and curse the Jews. You know what happens to him? Joshua kills him. Joshua and his men. Joshua was a tremendous warrior. Joshua and his men, when they were conquering the land, and they killed him. Yeah.
Is that in Numbers or just in Numbers?
Well, I believe it's in Numbers. I gotta go back and look, but Joshua and his men killed him. He was a seer of God. He was a man that these people went to find out God's will. And instead of him saying, God told me this, he keeps pushing the envelope. He pushes it. God says, didn't I tell you not to do this? Were you kidding me? And he keeps going on. And then he finally, when he won't curse them, because God says, don't keep their cursing. He says, I'll tell you what. He said, if you really want to bring all the Moabite women, you have them seduce the men and have them go into sin, and then God will have them curse them because they're in sin. That's called the way of Balaam. The way of Balaam is to tempt somebody. When you want to ruin somebody, tempt them to fall. You're putting a snare before your enemies for them, so that they fall before God. So that's the doctrine of Balaam. Balaam teaches that to Barak, the king of the Moabites. Barak does it. There's a plague that comes out. One of Aaron's sons, called Phinehas, to stop it, he goes and takes his lance, and he goes into the tent, and it goes right through his vocal. And God stopped it right there through vocal. And he exercised it. So the point is, it had to get to that. It didn't have to get to that. If Balaam, the prophet, would have not tried to disobey God when God was really telling him to stop,
Oh, I took it out.
so the same thing in your life. God will have these big warnings in your life, and this huge oppression. Don't it's when you proceed through it and try to find a way around God's will, a technicality, if you will. Because God is clearly telling us, don't do this.
Are you gonna get more?
So part of finding God's plan is, first you seek Him and ask Him, okay, allow Him to get rid of it. If you're thinking about what to do, ask Him. You have nothing to ask Him. And then when you commit your way to Him, I commit this to you, I want you to direct the paths, open the doors, and show me. I want to do what you want to do. This is what it seems like to me, but it's not about that. Go to Him first. And after that, just start opening the doors and impressing you every day. You don't have because you don't ask. And you told me outside that, you weren't used to having that kind of relationship with God where you're constantly bouncing things off of you. That's a problem. It's a major problem when you're not bouncing things off God all the time.
It's just, this is not a common thing to teach. I think, of course, about Jesus and salvation, but I don't think, well, I didn't grasp that as a tendency that we should have in God on the basis. Because I even know a lot of Christians, not to criticize, but, we count with God in a lot of things, but, there's a lot of that example you put of the other guy, let's do this, let's do that, let's do it for the sake of it. I don't see, I think this is, I don't see how many people who actually stop and just say, right, what should I do next? Like, that's not common. So basically, we need to learn that now.
There's a lot of things I would have done different. A lot of things. I look back now in my life, I'm like, God has done that different, that different, that different. But all along the way, God was leading and God was directing to a certain point. Some of those things were instrumental in the decisions. I mean, there are a few things probably that I should have done different. But along the way, there's a couple of instances I remember very well. I go to Florida, it's not a real one. So, God stopped me. No, I'm not doing this. And God put blocks in the way and made sure that I didn't go that route. There's other things that, I'll look out that I probably should have done this or that. But no, every bit of it was a part of forming who I am. Every experience that I went through, good or bad, was a part of me becoming more than them. So I don't say, oh man, why did I get that? Because if I'd have done that, I would have been down here. I would have a different course. And that's what God wanted. So I can't regret, and I rely on God's grace to say, okay, your grace can overcome everything was wrong that I did. Your grace for me right now is if I never actually did wrong. And there's a place in Joel where it says God is able to restore what the locusts eat. The locusts were brought in because of a plague, or they were a plague, because of Israel's disobedience to God. And so God brought the locusts and they devoured everything, cropped everything. And so was amazing. But God tells Joel, just tell these people that if they'll turn back to me, I can restore what the locusts eat. I can restore it. Just turn back to me, that was a judgment. So, in my life, the locust that beat in my life, that many, was destroyed because of bad decisions. God by his grace now can restore. Many times over. There's a time when the king of Israel paid, I don't know, 10,000 talents of gold or silver to one of the kings of Syria to defend him. And God didn't want the Jews making an alliance with anybody. He says, I'm your God, I'm your defender, I'll help you. I'm making an alliance with you. You know, that's today's talk. So if the guy says, well, God, what am I gonna do about all the 10,000 talents of gold that I give him? God says, can't I give you more than that? Am I able to give you more than that? Leave it, just forget it, count it a loss. Go to losses, get back to do it with me. We're making alliances with God. So sometimes you'll feel like, oh, I invested in this, I gotta keep going because I'm gonna lose everything I invested. God says you cut the line, let it go. Let it go. I'll give you more than that. Look, I've made more money and I've had more success than I ever thought God was ever gonna ever. But there were decisions along the way, there were direction and certain things that God absolutely gave me. But I asked for this specifically. And step by step, I was amazed how God would open the door. I mean, just boom, I didn't know. I never did anything. I didn't ask for it. None of it. I just opened the door and this is yours. Why? Because I asked. Because I asked. And sometimes I didn't ask specifically. I said, well, I was at a crossroads after 7 years ago. My wife had all years old. I go to work. Go to bed. Everybody's off. I'm in bed. Life is going on around me. I get up to a few things and then take a nap before I go to work again. I'm burned out. It's so good to the max. Finally, one day I was like, you know what? I'm a little tired. I don't see anything else to do. Something else for me. You know what? I couldn't imagine. I didn't know. And it's like the people of Israel against the Red Sea and on either side of the road, Pharaoh coming in. Like, we got no way out. We don't even know. We can't imagine. How can you imagine that God's going to open the Red Sea? You can't imagine. It's God will make a way where there's no way. So I was asking God to make a way for me. I don't see any way. I'm a little tired. 2 weeks later, the owner of the company comes in and says, I'm pulling up what I want to make you the assistant personnel manager. And I want to prepare you to be the personnel manager. What? What? I'm like, really? Yeah. I'm thinking to myself, it's very, very important. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Monday. I was studying Monday. Because he says, 2 weeks. And I'm going to give you a raise. I'm going to give you this much. What? Yeah. And you're still going to be leading that team, and you're still going to do this, and give you that. And we'll raise you even more. What I did? I asked. I didn't know what to ask for. I just said, Lord, I'm tired of this. I can't do this anymore. I'm burnt out. I need to make a certain amount of money to keep up with the budget in this place, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And God gave it all to me within 2 weeks. In 2 weeks. And then He gave another promotion after that, and I got raised. And He's given me another and I am about to the place that I asked God, I want this, and God, I want this. If it's okay with you, and I want it because of this reason. This is the reason I want it, Lord. I don't want it. I'm a simple man. I'm a practical man. I'm a minimalist. I hate a bunch of stuff. I hate it. I said, but I don't want to be in debt to anybody. I don't want to have a bunch of junk. I don't want to be beholden to anybody. And I want to be able to provide for my family, provide for my kids, and be able to do this and that. That's what I want to do. But you know me, I'm not interested in a Ferrari. I'm not interested in this. I don't want none of that stuff. I just want to be able to be like this. You know what? I give it to them. I give it to them. I don't have a Maserati, but the Lexus out there is paid for. You can look inside, and the latch thing is broken. I just got to buy another latch, put the top on it, and it's brand new. So it's paid for. It runs great. And I don't know anybody anything, I don't vote for anything. And I ask God, I don't wanna have that, I wanna be able to provide for my family, I wanna be the best at what I do here. I wanna be valuable at what I do, and I wanna bring value to the people that have wanted me. I don't want them to be, sorry that they gave me a job, I don't wanna be a burden, I wanna be a profit.
Oh.
Why? Ask.
For example.
You should give it. You don't have it because you don't ask. And sometimes you ask wrong for the wrong reason, and you ask, are my motives okay? What's my motive for the reason I'm asking this? And then God will correct your motives. Number one thing, I'll let you go, you gotta take your family to get some rest. Number one thing is you gotta every day just have that conversation with God as it's that simple. It's not a once in a while, what do you call it, a very formalistic prayer. It's like, no, I'm talking to my Father.
I'm doing so, but I have struggled to the new idea of giving all my, I know giving all my will and all my focus is going to be beneficial to me. It's just I struggle with that. I'm so, I guess, used to X, Y, and want to lean in certain direction. I'm a little bit stubborn when it comes to that. I've grown to be less stubborn, but I'm really stubborn by nature. There's a lot of characteristics that somebody can imagine. I'm really hard-headed. Like sometimes I go to, I've learned from others' experience, that's a good thing, right? But I get fixated sometimes with something that I don't see until I actually get hurt by it. So it's something that I'm learning. I'm communicating. And during my prayer, it's something I have to grow. I battle to really, I don't know what to call it. Maybe it's like,
Let go?
Yeah.
Let go. You know what that's called? It's called trust. There's an old saying. Well, what if I told God I'm only going to do one, he sends me to Timbuktu, China? I don't want to go to Timbuktu, China. No, he's gonna send me to missionary in this horrible place where I'm gonna have to go and use an outhouse and wash my clothes by hand. God's gonna give me the worst, it's like the worst I can imagine. And that's what Satan puts in your head. God is not gonna do anything but put in your heart what he wants you to do. He's not gonna, God puts in your heart what he wants you to do. It's a calling. You're called to do something. And it's a burden that you really want to do. And you really want to get. And so, I had a policeman one time teach me a lesson. That policeman taught me a lesson. I was working as a field agent for the insurance company. And I knew who was driving, who wasn't driving. They were trying to lie and they were trying to get out because there was a rental car and they were going to have to forfeit everything because the rental car did not have the son of person on the contract, on the rental agreement. So I'm telling this cop, hey, that guy wasn't driving, it was him. That accident's their fault that he was driving. He wasn't supposed to be behind the wheel. The cop looked at me and he says, have a little faith. Have a little faith. So that was from God. God using this cop, like he used that donkey to talk to me. It was like, have a little faith. I'll figure this out. I'll come to the right conclusion. It's all right. You're zealous for the right reason, but just trust. I know my job. I did the same thing another time. I was like, look, it's like this, and see the tracks right there, and how the fluid. That had I been coming this way, that guy's at fault. The cop looks at me and goes, this is a different action. He goes, well, I guess I might as well go home and let you do the work because you got it all figured out. And I was wrong. But he was, in a way, he's like, you're really a dumb. It's like, I've been doing this forever. God, I was sure. I was like, I might as well put up my notebook and just, I'll take my motorcycle and go home because you got this all figured out. So it's like, poof, there goes my balloon. It was a stupid thing to do. But those were lessons that God taught me. So the next time I was in that position, like, have a little faith. Have a little faith. And it will, God's got it all figured out. And he doesn't want you to do what he doesn't want you to do. He doesn't want you to do what he doesn't want you to do. So if you come to him and say, look, here I am, I'm blind, unless you lead me, I have no idea. I'm depending on you. And I wanna make the right decision because I wanna do what you want me to do. So lead me through this. Stop me, lead me, direct me, but here I go. And he will. Absolutely, but you gotta do it all the time. All the time. It's a constant seeking counsel, it's a constant seeking. David lived like that. I got that from David. David was always, he was a tremendous warrior, but there were times when he knew he was supposed to go to battle and he would ask God, Father, Lord, am I supposed to do this? Will you deliver them into my hands? And God will say, yeah. Take them, go track them down. I will deliver them into your hands. Always. And am I going to recover this? Go. You're going to recover all of it. When they had lost everything, Ziklag. David was the only one in the Bible that's ever said that he was a man after God's own heart. Only one. But he asked God about everything. Almost everything. When he didn't ask God about something, he got himself in trouble. When he didn't ask God about something, he got himself in trouble. But he sincerely wanted to do God's will. He sincerely worshiped God. He sincerely was devoted to God. So along his life, God led him to that place.
What was the story of the wife? I forgot her name. This is the second book of Samuel, I think.
Abigail?
Yeah.
Abigail.
God then allowed to David to have his son.
I'm not saying it's bad, but.
Yeah. I'll tell you next, but take that one because they're probably tired. But yeah, that was the time when David, instead of a donkey, brought a woman. And she was a very, very wise wife. And God used Abigail to keep David from doing something he never should have done. And so that's another great way that God will bring people into your life, like Abigail, to say, and she was very wise. She did it the right way. She didn't come over there and she brought provisions for him and his men. She said, you're my Lord, you're my King. We know God has anointed you. And, if you do this, you're going to have to go on your hands. You're a Muslim. And she was appealing to his desire to be right with God. She appealed to David's desire to be right with God. David resonated with that, and David fell back. As angry as David was, as probably justified as he would have been to slaughter Nabal, he didn't. Because there's a lot of innocent people in Nabal's house that had no guilt whatsoever. And David was coming in rage. So God sends Abigail. Abigail resonates with David. David sets back, and you know what God does? He kills Nabal 10 days later. I'll take care of it, but I'll do it my way. So again, God sends somebody into a man's life to say, consider what you're doing. Here's God's principles that are involved. And because of that, instead of being a widow, David takes in Abigail. Right? So, God provided for both of them. God provided so that David wouldn't go do what he was supposed to do, and for Abigail, that she went ahead and did it the right way. God provided for her. So again, God will bring people into your life, and God will speak to you through those kinds of circumstances through great work. And lastly, you need to go. You cannot expect God's will in your life to know it if you're not doing what you already know you're supposed to do. If you know you're supposed to do or not do something, it's written in God's word, it's a principle, and you're violating that, you can never expect God to show you His unknown way. You're not going to know it because you're not obedient to what you already know. You're just going out there and living your life, and why would God show you this? And He's showing you that, and not knowing this. So that's how you. Cool.
All right, guys, take care.
Bye.
Have a good week. Take care.
Hey, your mom and dad.